These are the final moments leading up to our FNCS Grand Finals next weekend. If you're in that top 15, great. Now you have to hold on to it. If you're outside of the top 15, lay it all on the table. Leave nothing to regret when the day is over.
Cutoff currently at 68 points for top 15. It will be going up, obviously, once this game concludes, but that's where it's at currently. So we'll have to keep an eye on the duos around there, but Mahi getting right into the action.
Yeah, Mahi and Topco need a big game here. They're outside of that bubble, but trading shots back and forth. Topco trying to reunite. Flowberry Fizz coming out, trying to give him a little more oomph to work with, but it's only going to come down to a trade. Topco is going to be the one outlasting everybody, though. The bait and switch comes out, and they stand 10 toes down.
31 HP left. 2 elims on the board now. Topco Mahi feeling extra happy. If you get eliminated here, Jacob, that's it. No more opportunities.
Your FNCS journey is over. And a battle that we've seen go the way of Savage and Mongrel. 2 for 2 so far. Hallie and Frizzy are going to be there. Hopefully they've learned their mistakes about that third-party potential. And that's why you kind of see them position themselves on the other side of the building before they go up and in, trying to chase down Mongrel. Figure out where he's at. And I do believe they already have the elimination onto Savage. So this will be the last remaining player before they're able to finally claim Ship It Station as their own.
You can see the third party creeping up. All they have to do is land a couple shots here. They aim, they take the shots, but they're unable to connect enough to continue forwards until now. It looks like Mongrel does get eliminated, though. Kovacs with the elim.
Second place, 105 points for Mongrel and Savage. You have to imagine they got to be feeling confident with their position on the leaderboard. Kovacs, nice snipe. They've been such disruptors to that fight that is contested. They're doing a good job, too, of not overstaying their welcome and getting greedy. As soon as they get eliminations and damage, they go right back underneath to continue the looting where they left off.
Look, Mongrel and Savage got eliminated, but having over 100 points and the position they're in, it should be enough to take them to grand finals. Blaha Yapko, though, looking to see if they can pick up a couple elims.
Yapko, they're doing pretty well up until this point. 23rd place, still have more to go, and it can start with eliminations like that. Serene's going to get taken down. Demas is going to get stuck by himself. They keep bulldozing their way into the box. They want to end this quickly, but the longer it takes, you see that third party at the top of the mountain, Vortexia Edit Course, potentially trying to steal away the elimination that they fought so hard to get up until now. Unfortunate circumstances, but now they see it. They move forward. Vortexia trying to go ahead and gather all that loot and steal even more away from that duo.
Currently sandwiching their opponents. Edit Course on one side, Vortexia on the opposite. Are they just going to look for shots? Are they going to regroup? Vortexia wanted the loot from the elimination. Blaha Yapko don't want nothing to do with this fight no more. They got the damage they needed. They got the loot they needed. Currently not being in qualifying range. All they want to do now is continue rotating through, doing what they can to make it to the late game.
Doing a good job. Picking everything up where they need it as Tino. Seemingly by himself. Question where Uguay is at. And with Ark having one elimination, I think that question is answered almost instantaneously. They're forcing Tino over and over towards the low ground before finally disengaging. Surprising that I've seen so many teams kind of disengage away from those solos.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, sometimes it's not worth it, especially if the solo has a grapple blade or some sort of mobility item that allows them to disengage. But even if you're just hiding and you can't find them, you really cannot waste a lot of time in these matches. You want to finish your loot path. You want to start on your surge path. You want to start rotating. You want to continue farming. There's always things you can be doing. And if you're just hunting for a solo, it could be gone by now. It might just be time wasted.
Seeing Kefi, Belvis on the other side, and Marco and Vision, bro. They're inside of that bubble. Tied with Shakos and Skydune. 68 points, 15th, 14th place, losing the tiebreaker. And I think they're right now a sigh of relief as Marco and Vision disengage out of this location, that we were that close to risking it all in a fight if they just wanted to push.
Take a look. Blaha Yapko He's just kind of looking around for a sniper shot. If he could land it, though. Edit course. No needed for one there. Quick headshot, 262. Not sure if they secured the full elim after the knock, but if they did, that's a good amount of points.
Solo Khan trying to play this one out. He already has the mythic loot from Lavish Layer. So not a bad position to be in as a solo, especially since it is so early. There's a lot of space between duos, especially more towards this north side of the map. So there is opportunity to get the reboot and get your teammate back into the game, but definitely has the potential to come at a cost, because the closer they get on over towards Lavish Layer, you see a team in the minimap slowly but surely appearing in the distance.
Hydro for Strokey. Outside of zone now. Looks like a staggered engagement. It's Topcoat on the other end. Just one shot away from getting eliminated for Strokey. Picks it up. 8 points on the board, and that could be huge. 4 points per elimination is massive when it's top 15 to qualify. There's more. It's Chexy. 2v1 now against Hydro. He has to regroup with Strokey.
It's not going to be the easiest thing, though. Gonna have to expend a lot of resources to try to get to one another, and you see firing shots from the distance. Anything works with the frenzy. Just trying to back off your opponent, not necessarily finish a fight. And with that little bit of stalling that just happened, they're going to go ahead and continue to try to disengage, and especially so since it is going to be a far pull and they're one of the teams inside of the top 5.
Yeah, for Strokey and Hydro, though, being in 31st, they cannot take these risks as they head right back into zone. Being second zone, they're not going to get penalized as much for rotating through it. They won't be losing as much HP per second as they will be later on. So they will go for the safer rotate as Misha Tini. Pleasant Piazza also on the edge of zone. Might make the similar decision.
And Misha and Tini just landing in different spots. Kind of what they do best. But if it's a different drop spot or a different loot path to try to catch teams off guard. Once again, finding so much success here in the game. Started it in 6th place, 92 points, all but guaranteed. They still have to play this one out. But their loadout's the only thing that's kind of concerning. Lacking a ton of material. And obviously, their loadout can use an upgrade in terms of their hammer and their striker.
I need. And his duo partner right above a duo. I think they do know they're there, although they are crouched. They have an idea that something's up. Something's a little sketchy. Goes for the full box, but gets turned on. Tiny forces a solo now. Has to make something happen to come out on top. 2 shots get connected. Not even enough for a crack, though, as the pressure is on.
Yeah, you saw Heine immediately try to get aggressive on back while the damage is hot, but his teammate Monet doing a good job of alleviating some of that pressure, but Lunex goes right back in, and Heine makes him regret that decision. Well-placed shots once more with the frenzy, and now that he has both of those players weak, he's using that opportunity to try to disengage and bring his teammate back into the game. They need, just like a few other teams, a massive finish today. They're about 30 or so points shy, and the way the day has been going for them with their average placement overall, it's just one of those things you have to keep moving forward, even
Look,
if your teammate's down.
I had faith, Jacob. I'm not gonna lie. When he was going in with the frenzy shotgun, I was like, he's gonna get this 1v2. He's doing so much damage. I guess he took the smart decision, though, the safe one, to disengage. Issue is now, I mean, his opponents are gonna heal up. Who knows if they're gonna play around the reboot card. I think he might have got it. He probably should have, especially if he disengaged. So I assume he's just trying to get a reboot out here in the wild, but does he know that Artem is there? I think he does. He might have just seen him.
Probably waiting for him to kind of continue to rotate on out. There's zip lines that can be towards the top. Snazy, similar spot. But more than enough Flowberry Fizz to try to get away. It's just, does he have the time to continue to use it with Slowbay and X-Squeeze hot on his tails? We'll also have the Grapple Blade Flowberries themselves, so in theory, Takata, they could chase this for as long as they so choose.
The pursuit is going to continue here as Snazy is doing everything that he can to escape Slowbay and X-Squeeze. But with all 3 players having a Grapple Blade, it's an even run, and shots continuing to get connected. from the duo here. It's not looking like it's in Snazy's favor.
Yeah, Emus got this third parties. They're probably just watching that, wondering what's going on. Nobody really closing in on that distance as they continue to be on a hot pursuit against Snazy. The grapple blades, the flow berries, it's gonna be so hard for Snazy to continue to try to survive, and it's just about when Slove and Xqueeze just get bored of the chase.
It's kind of what happens. We were talking about it earlier, you know, when you're chasing a solo, when they have these mobility items, the grapple blades, even just crash pads and a flowberry, it just gets to a point where it might not be worth it. You could be doing more efficient things other than chasing. So we switch on over to Hazy, where there's quite a few duos boxed up in the area. This is kind of the combat cache section of the match.
You've seen some teams already positioned, boxed up, like they have control of one. Others still looking like they have more searching to do, more rotating before they find that safety. But for them, they're just trying to get together the scraps. And honestly, I've never really seen anybody farm those in my life. So they're really thinking outside of the box to get every piece of material that they can get.
Metal's the most scarce one. You need to find any option to farm it that you can. So making use of those metal structures are incredibly important. But Lucy now gonna find this combat cache.
Good find for them as we get a peek on the leaderboard just outside of the bubble. 42 points. Heine Noya, we've seen them a few times. Blaha Yapko, seen them a few times. Chulex and Chicho, though, after that last game, surprise contested after they switched up their drop spot. Wasn't necessarily the most fun time for Chulex and Chicho, but you have to have the endurance, the confidence to continue to move forward. 34 points, 26th on the leaderboard. This wouldn't have necessarily been a bad position if we were in the upper bracket, but it's only top 15, and this is the last game to gather those points for the leaderboard.
Makes it that much harder, that much more stress. I'm getting nervous, Jacob. I don't even play it, and I'm feeling nervous for these players. Chicho, good amount of materials rotating through. Duo's already boxed up, though, taking shots, going through the river, trying to swim to the zone. As it's King, trying to see if Phaser is around. They have played a little split up before, just to cover more area. Even made some kind of fake bases on high elevated locations around the drop spot, as we are approaching the Reckless Railways.
Judging by the pacing of this game, seeing how many players are left alive, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a later Storm Surge activation. Because typically in this zone, it kind of forces down to 78. You see there's 65. Zone after that, it's going to be 64. And they're just right there at 65. So might not see Storm Surge until about the FNCS weekend average of Zone 6. So teams this game have a little bit more time to prepare of how they're going to pick up and gather that Storm Surge.
Dino Uguay, 12th place right now at 74. You can see how close it is, though, in that top 15 realm. 68 points is the marker right now, but that will be changing shortly once this final match concludes.
They're so close. Any team right now that's either inside or on the bubble, if they go down, it's just so unfortunate. You have to watch it all play out as Vox is already knocked. Jaco's Sky Dude made quick work of him. His opponent, say his teammate, disengaged not too long before that, but he's stuck as a solo. You can kind of see him on the mini-map, just stuck between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 duos that are in the direct vicinity of Reckless Railways, even more making their rotations in.
Replacing the builds from this engagement, make sure they have the option to edit them. On the train tracks of Reckless Railways, it would be kind of funny if the train decided to wander on through right now, but so far they're safe. Slove X squeeze though, little chilly.
See everybody still fighting at the edge of zone. Multiple teams at that. Squeeze Slove is going to be one of them. They have the advantage of going in from different angles, the elevation, but you have to be careful. Slove is getting targeted out, trying to play defensive. Meanwhile, X-Squeeze slowly but surely creeping his way in towards the side. They spotted out at the last moment, but not before his teammate took too much damage. Now Kefi's trying to alleviate any of the pressure, but L0WK once again hot on the heels, fighting for that piece control.
Doesn't want to jump in. Is just going for walls here. Is not ready to risk it all. Although they do have that HP and shield advantage, they still want a little bit more security before going all in. Cone's getting replaced, trying to get the roof here.
Even give him mid ammo or ammo mid fight. L0WK X-Squeeze not wanting to give up on this just yet. They expended so much in this fight so far. Sometimes you just don't want to give up on the play, but 5 seconds. Zone is going to push all of these players in, and there is a huge lack of actual HP heals going around between both of these teams, and especially since another one from Relvis is going to be used rather early. And this is a team that's in the bubble. They just need to stay alive and hold their position on the leaderboard.
Scavenge as many points as possible. No need to do anything risky. Even with those 2 elims, that's already 8 more points to continue through with. It's now, it looks like they've disengaged, but if they end up following, there's a good chance that they end up looking back, but X-Squeeze saving himself from that shot there. And now they're forced to kind of take a larger or longer rotate here along the side of the hill.
Yeah, you see him on the line, 68 points still. You kind of see the Flowberry Fizz crash pad rotations about to come out, and it's kind of their only hope. They only have 2 more uses with the Flowberry Fizz if they want to spread it out, so they're running out of resources at this stage in the game, which is very, very impactful for that top 15.
Vortexia edit course in a sticky situation here that actually might be a good one for them, as edit course is going to be the one that secured an elimination. Some more loot. Was it a full elim though? Is the duo completely gone? They are, as edit course has 2.
Got us down to 64 players. And the zone begins to move yet again. That's when Storm Surge is going to turn on. 10 more players need to go down. Panda stuck by himself. See him eyeing a couple players over the top. He does have a sniper as well. Frenzy Auto tries to peek through, land a couple of shots. Not going to be enough, but Frizzy actually does get the knock onto Vortexia, and the cleanup comes through from Panda. So all it is a reboot card left behind at Recluse Railways.
Instant finish from the Reaper sniper, sending him to the Shadow Realm, as Phaser as well has gone down on the feed. Panda left as a solo, going right back to the reboot van. Does he have time? Will the duos in the surrounding area stop him? DKS has found him. He said, no, no, no. I'm not letting you get the reboot.
DKS might actually need the reboot as well, but Zone pushing everybody off. Panda doesn't have any HP to regain, so he doesn't really have a choice here but to continue moving forward, hoping that a reboot van becomes available in the near future. Great decision, not getting greedy. Team's going to be below him. If he tried to jump into that box, that would have been a nightmare, but so is following King. But a nice shot by Panda, catching another player off guard.
What a way to clean up another elim. Sky jump back to the lobby. Panda continuing with the grapple blade.
Great work by Panda, even using the crash pad. Double movement just to find a little bit of safety. 269 above the damage threshold. Even though teams are inching closer in that direction, it's almost little to worry about because he sees them. He's spotting them out. They're the focus, not him. Almost no reason to peek unless you want to take part of the party. And he sees them outside of zone. Both of those players go down. Unfortunately, Panda is not going to get either one for himself, but he's so, I was going to say he's close to loot. He can grab him, but Shahh read my mind.
Panda knows, though, that loot, that's dangerous loot, Jacob. So many duos are on this side of the map. You can see at the bottom right how many are based up looking back at where that player just got eliminated. If you drop down and go for the loot and end up getting cracked, especially as a solo, the focus is back on you. You want to avoid those risks, especially if you're close to the cutoff. DKS still as a solo was also unable to get the reboot, and now all of these players have to rotate back to the snowy mountains, and we know what the late games are like over there. The changes in elevation, the hills, the mountains, it makes it much more difficult.
Especially as a solo, everything becomes difficult. You're kind of freed in a different way. You're able to play a little more flexibility, knowing you don't have to stay with your teammate. You can rotate all around, but with 2 eliminations, 8 points so far in this game, Vox has one. They're in 18th place on that leaderboard as it stands. They need to just pass up 2 different teams, and it's all up to DKS.
TKS recycling crash pad after crash pad, not having to use a single one, and it's working so far. He's almost made it in. Not a scratch on his shoulder. As now he builds up. He does have to do multiple boxes. He does not want his opponents to know that he is a solo. As he hears some action behind, its players rotating in later, but has Uguay found it? Do they know that it's a solo?
Oh, even if they knew or didn't know, DKS felt very, very uneasy in that position. Edits towards the top, repositions a little bit higher away from Uguay, but the shot's still pouring through. Door or no door, they're gonna make their way in, and this is the time. Push comes to shove. He's able to escape for now, but he gets dropped on, sent back to the lobby. 18th place is where it looks like they're gonna finish.
Uguay needed this as well. It put them 80 above now with that elimination, but they still have lots to worry about. There's a long way to go. It's a whole journey. It's a marathon. As now, loot getting split up. Crash pad getting ready to be used here. 8th zone has pulled towards the east. It's getting closer and closer to those hills. And the pressure's on.
We need to go down to about 40 players overall, which doesn't seem like a lot, but with everybody rotating from point A to point B, very, very close together, there's going to be a lot of destruction and chaos. A missed grapple blade there momentarily, but he's still going to make his way forward. Storm Surge really doing a lot of damage, but this is his opportunity to get shots himself, but he gets dropped. Teammates there trying to alleviate the pressure, but Storm Surge causing so much commotion. He can't think here in this moment, and in comes another player. Tarps from the backside of the box takes him out.
Pred, gotta be the one getting that. Are getting eliminated now. Tinho, Uguay, 39 above. Good position here, but they still have to make it in. Looks like they already have their base built up. You have to be careful here, though. There's so many duos close by. If you end up being the focus, you don't have a lot of space to work with. They are 170 above. 40 players now. So many duos behind. This could be free pickings.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of loot. Didn't really see too much HP down there, but this is the stage of the game where it means so much. It's even scarier than early game because teams are going to drop off left, right, and center. If you don't have the map to know where you need to finish, you have to set your eyes on the prize and just take the game overall. And that's what Shahh and Low-Key are looking to do. They have 3 eliminations so far. They have high ground cemented and plenty of builds to work with.
On the peak of the mountain, almost in the clouds already. First moving zone about to commence. Chaos shortly going to be unfolded. Blaha, Jabko, 3 elims, 302 above. Not much to worry about other than this rotation as they look for the place to start it.
You see them staggering themselves back, looking towards the zone, seeing it catch up before they pop their Flowberry Fizz and rotate. Chicho under pressure. Him and Trulex get separated momentarily before they find their way back once more. Reunited has never felt so good for a team that needs to pop off here.
Continuing with the Flowberry Fizz to get that mobility boost, but all the players now are rotating through. You cannot get put into your opponent's box. You have to stay connected. You need the chemistry with your duo partner here. You cannot get split up.
Placement points beginning to roll in. 5 teams went down. At least 10 points for your efforts. They're going to be up to 14. You count up the elimination added on top. Stan, he's done a good job being able to claim that high ground, but Kovacs dropped all the way down low. They're separated. Nitrox is trying to go up and challenge it for the high ground. Uguay and Tinho down on Surge, still trying to find their way forward, and it's going to go up this mountain. We've seen too many times how dangerous this can be.
This could be an opportunity to retake height if you're able to get ahead, but it's Tinho, Uguay who are going to play it slow. They boxed up, they've grouped up. No materials for Tinho. How much does Uguay have? Do they have enough to get out of here?
Luckily, they do have that Flowberry Fizz, so they're not going to need a lot of builds to climb up the mountain, especially since they found a path towards the side, and they go up and over everybody to get some safety in toward the zone. Even with little mats, they're still finding a way to make it work as they knock on another team's door. Chicho and Trulex doing the same thing, but they get bull rush towards the back. Misha and Teeny, who already have their spot at the top of the leaderboard, play bracket busters to Trulex and Chicho.
Darkus, 2 medkits, 3 flops. Started this heal off incredibly early. Has to find an angle in with the grapple blade, but it's going to be Low-Key going for the high ground. It's been chopped. Has he secured it?
Yeah, I think he was able to hold on there for now. Scary moment. YOWK, he's going to be by himself. Even more scarier than the few moments ago. No builds. Continues to pile on, but he's moving and grooving, figuring out a way to stay alive. Flowberry Fizz to give him a little bit more on the distance, but he does not have time to use it. Somebody spots right behind. Great shots from YOWK, but it's not enough. Gabbins takes him down and survives with just a sliver of HP.
Darkus still with the heal off. He's went through 3 medkits. He's went through 3 floppers. He's now used them all. Grapple blade in, farming as much placement as possible. No builds. He needs an impact.
This edit on this wrap is going to be very, very crucial as he's looking towards the backside of zone. He knows a couple players are there. Howley gets shut down, separated from his teammate. Misha's in another exchange, but he gets dropped. Nitrox as well. Top 7. Here we go.
Darkus is not done cooking. 4 elims on the board. It's Casper, though, who's taking height. Loki now down below. TD in zone already with the heal off as Loki takes his shots with the frenzy. Connects to one for Strokey Crack. Now that's another down the hill, the waterfall.
That's going to be big as it gets cracked and runs out of builds. Shah's going to be right above him. That's his saving grace. But Casper, he has to drop down low. No HP. Teeny's still the backside of zone. He gets spotted out, but he overstays just a toe. Dipped into the zone. He goes down to Storm. Teeny, 1v2. Low-key versus Shah. We've already seen him play Bracket Bunster once. Can he do it again?
2 medkits. Is it going to be enough? 22 seconds until the zone closes. TD knows he has to get into the action here. Takes the shots, but it's going to be Saw and Loki that get the elim and secure the win.
I don't know where they were positioned on the leaderboard to start this game, but it doesn't matter. When you set your eyes on the prize, nothing else matters but first place, and they've earned themselves that victory royale and earned themselves a chance to shoot up the leaderboard.
Aryan, Loki, they've done it. Last match of the day, the last opportunity. How has the leaderboard shaken up, Jacob? It's going to be top 15. That's what they're aiming for. And with a victory royale like that, you know that they are in.
Yeah, and they had the high ground as teams dropped off the side of the mountain. They held it perfectly and finally used a Flowberry Fizz to drop down and end the game. They did not have a ton of HP if that did go to a heal off, so that was a must situation, and it paid off tenfold.
That's why it's important to have a good duo partner, have that synergy to be able to capitalize on those 2 versus 1 situations. But talking about synergy, I want to talk about a good trio. Frankie, Levin, Mini, what do you have for us?